Hey guys, Jedi Master here with finally another collection video. I promise you guys, remember 2000 is still underway. I actually, at the time of this recording, I actually got some of the more of the track mix done. I figure I have time to do another collection video. This time, with the recent release of the Switch a couple days ago, last week. Why not do my week? Why not do my Wii collection? I was gonna do my Wii collection, right around the 10th anniversary of when the Wii released, but I I started recording it and thought it was turning out terrible, so I stopped recording and I never finished it. Never got back to it until now. So, anyways, here is my Wii collection. Obviously, here is my Wii that I've been kind of fiddling around with on camera. This is the first Wii that this was the Wii that I got at the end of 2006. Interesting story about that. Many of you would remember, but some of you might be too young to really remember when the Wii first came out. When the Wii first came out, it was like this overnight sensation. It was a sleeper hit. Nobody was predicted that it would be such a huge hit, like overnight. Like everybody was talking about, like in late 2006, everyone was talking about who's going to win the 360 or PS3, who's going to win the console war, the 360 or PS3. And nobody was talking about the Wii. All of a sudden, word of mouth gets around. It has these motion controls, very revolutionary at the time. And it becomes the sleeper hit and becomes super hard to find. Like, it sold out literally. I think the first day it came out, they sold out all their consoles. I remember my brother and I really wanted a Wii for Christmas in 2006, and we were starting to get scared that we weren't going to be able to get one in time for Christmas because of how fast the Wii was selling out. But my dad assured me, "Oh, don't worry." The same thing happened with the GameCube when that first came out. I'm sure Nintendo will have them back in stock in no time. But then reports keep coming out, Wii shortages. A lot of stores report that they won't be getting any more Wiis until February. And then we're kind of thinking, oh, it looks like we'll have to wait a while. But then my dad received some inside information from an employee when he went to Best Buy one day, a few weeks before Christmas. He said, "Oh, we might be getting some new Wii consoles, on this date." And then my dad goes to the store, waits out early in the morning outside of Best Buy on that date. Turns out it's just a ploy to get people into their stores. So, but then reports start coming in from Toys R Us online. They say on December 23rd, across all our 150 different stores across the United States, we're going to get thousands of shipments of Wiis. My dad goes to the Toys R Us on the morning of December 23rd. No Wiis. But during that time, he got a Wii Finder. He subscribed to something called a Wii Finder, and it would automatically send him reports on like any new Wiis supposedly that would be coming into stores, or available online or whatever. Initially, it just sends him information on Wii accessories that are for sale. But then, finally, the day after Christmas, my dad gets a notification from the Wii Finder, and it's a Wii Premium package. It includes the Wii and extra and everything in that package. Wii Sports, the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, as well as an additional Wii Remote and an additional Nunchuck, as well as Madden 2007 and Zelda Twilight Princess, a $400 Wii Premium package. It wasn't an official thing. This is what they were selling through Amazon or wherever he got it from. But typed in his information really fast. Thought it was gonna. he thought that it was going to come up, oh, you're too late, this has already been sold. But in the nick of time, he manages to get the order on the Wii Premium package. So 2 days later, the Wii comes in. Would have liked to have it had it as a Christmas present on the day of Christmas, but still. But man, it was just, and for the next year, it was still super hard to find a Wii because they would just fly off the shelves. As soon as any new shipments would come into stores, they would just fly off the shelves. A lot of people were jealous that I got my Wii so early. But anyways, as I established, my Wii came with the Wii itself, 2 Wii remotes, 2 nunchucks, Wii Sports. Unfortunately, I don't have Wii Sports anymore. I lost it somewhere. I don't know where. But my brother and I had a lot of fun with it. Our favorite game on the Wii Sports was bowling, although we did do a little bit of the baseball stuff. But Wii Bowling was our favorite. Zelda Twilight Princess. This was actually the first Zelda that I really got into. I never beat it. I got past the Yeti's mansion, and I never finished it. But I was hooked for a while. I was hooked for quite a while, for quite a few weeks. Madden 07 I don't own anymore. My brother was the one who played it, and he didn't really enjoy the motion controls, so he traded it into GameStop. But the first game that I bought on the Wii myself was WarioWare Smooth Moves. Got it around the time it launched. I remember seeing it in Nintendo Power. This was really the first Wii game that really took advantage of the Wii motion controls. It's kind of a short game, but it definitely was a lot of fun. Definitely what took advantage of the motion controls. But my friends and I definitely had a lot of fun with it. Trauma Center Second Opinion was a game that I rented very early on from Blockbuster. Rented several times. Really liked playing the game. Really felt like a surgeon, and actually got me interested in potentially becoming a surgeon someday, very briefly. I mean, I never took it super seriously, but I had a lot of fun with it. I really liked the story line, the medical drama aspect of it. The motion controls haven't exactly aged well. This was a very early Wii game, so the motion controls weren't very precise. I heard New Blood was a lot better, which I have, although I've never played yet, but I finally bought this in 2013, ordered this off of Amazon, and did another playthrough, and had a lot of fun with it then, too. Sonic and the Secret Rings, got this for my 14th birthday in 2007, February of 2007, so 10 years ago. Hard to believe. Hard to believe that this was all going on 10 years ago. The switch from Gen 6 to Gen 7 was the first one I really remember experiencing. But Sonic and the Secret Rings, it was okay. I had a lot of fun with it at the time. Don't really like it much now. Haven't played it in a long time. But it was very okay. It was obviously the Sonic Storybook games. Mario Party 8. Got this one. This was as I've established before in my Nintendo 64 and GameCube collections, I was the kid that had to buy every single Mario Party game every year. And I was upset when Mario Party 8 didn't come out in 2006. It didn't come out until May or March, in the spring of 2007. I don't really like the boards in this game, except for Koopa's Tycoon Town was great, but otherwise I don't really care for the boards in this game. The mini games were pretty fun. I thought they were overall a little better than what we got in 6 and 7, but for a lot of people this is what turned them off from Mario Party. And then this was the last Mario Party game that came out on a console for a while, until Mario Party 9 in 2011, where they changed the formula entirely. And since Mario Party 9, Mario Party it's just been all gimmicks. We haven't had a traditional Mario Party game since 8. Actually Mario Party DS. But now it's like they focus on gimmicks now. It's like, I would just like a traditional Mario Party game for once. I've had it with these fucking gimmicks, the everybody moves at the same time in the most recent 3DS Mario Party, or everybody, or the whole Bowser Party, or everyone moves around the board together instead of separately. It just, Mario Party isn't Mario Party anymore. But this was the last really traditional one, aside from the DS one, which I never played. My Sims was actually pretty interesting. I really liked the. It was basically like The Sims meets Animal Crossing. Although what you do is that you essentially you bring people into this town, you build houses, you design the houses, you design the furniture and everything, and you collect materials. A lot of fun if you like Animal Crossing. Unfortunately, my copy of the game doesn't really work properly anymore. Like, the controls just generally aren't responsive anymore on this copy, so I have to find a replacement copy at some point. It just, I've never gotten around to it. But this was a very fun little game, and it led to a series of My Sims games. There was My Sims Kingdom, which was very similar to this one, and then there were a few spin-offs like My Sims Racing. I think there was a secret agent game. I think there was a My Sims Party game, but it led to a series of spin-offs, which they haven't brought back My Sims. I think the last one was like on the DS or something. But yeah, definitely a fun little game, a fun little gem. Super Paper Mario was a game I got sometime around the launch in 2007. I never beat the game, but this was like drastically different from what we saw in the first two. It was a platform instead of being a traditional like RPG. It was turn-based RPG. This was a platformer with RPG elements, and the mechanics were actually pretty interesting. And I had a lot of fun with it. I never beat the game. I think I got to chapter 4. You know, the outer space segment. But I never got past that. I just never was able to get back into it because I'll get into it later. There was a time where I wasn't playing as much games, and this was unfortunately a casualty of that, where I wasn't really playing many games. I wasn't really playing video games for a while, and this was an unfortunate game that was caught up in that time frame. So I definitely should get back into this at some point. Super Mario Galaxy. Oh my gosh, this was a revolutionary title. In my opinion, the best 3D Mario platformer to date. Although I haven't played Galaxy 2. My brother actually got this on launch day. Although I actually gotten into it way more than he did. I really loved the gravity, all the planet hopping, and all the power-ups, just everything you could do in this game. I never got all 120 stars with Mario, so I never unlocked Luigi's scenario. I never got to play as Luigi. I did beat, the base game, with Mario. You get 60 stars, you face the final boss. So I did technically beat the game, but I never did a 100% playthrough. But I really wish I would have, because Luigi is my favorite Mario character, and I would have loved to play as him. I just never got around to completing the game 100%. Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. What this did was it took the first two Lego Star Wars games and combined them, added a few new levels, and added the bounty hunter chase at the beginning of Attack of the Clones. As part of the main story, it added Anakin's flight at the end of Phantom Menace as a bonus stage. Added some additional characters that were not playable in either, like Isla Sakura, Plo Koon, Boss Nass, Captain Tarpals. Quite a few Lego versions of Star Wars characters. Oh, Zam Weasel, because she wasn't in the original Lego Star Wars. Or also added some of the elements from Lego Star Wars 2 into the Lego Star Wars 1 stages that weren't present in there. But yeah, it was definitely the perfect Lego Star Wars game. Definitely, if you want to get any Lego Star Wars game, get this one. Don't bother with 1 and 2. Everything that's in those 2 games is in this game, including the original versions of stages that were changed in Lego Star Wars 2, like the Gunship Cavalry stage in Lego Star Wars 1 and Attack of the Clones. It was revamped in Complete Saga to go with more of the modern vehicle type stage, vehicle plate. Yeah. But yeah, it still has the original state version of that chapter as a bonus stage. But yeah, definitely would recommend this game. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. The first time we saw Mario and Sonic go head to head in, I rather would have been an adventure game, but this was actually fun to play. I actually played this game quite a bit. Really liked the Olympic sports events. Really liked playing as all my favorite Mario and Sonic characters. Because at the time, those were my 2 absolute favorite series, aside from Kingdom Hearts. But just seeing 2 of my favorite franchises go head to head with each other was really fun to see and play through. And I got this for Christmas in 2007. I also got Guitar Hero 3 for that Christmas as well. I don't have the guitar accessory with me. That's over at my apartment right now. I'm actually at my parents' house. Got this for Christmas in 2007. I had Guitar Hero, and still have Guitar Hero 2 on the PS2. So of course I wanted Guitar Hero 3 when that came out. Never really got into any of the subsequent Guitar Hero games or Band Hero or any of the other Music Hero games. The unfortunate thing that happened was just the whole Guitar Hero rock band craze in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I mean, it was great, but it got really oversaturated. I think it got so ridiculous point in like 2008 or 2009, 11 Guitar Hero, Band Hero, DJ Hero, Musician Hero games were released in a given year, because they didn't just have Guitar Hero Legends of Rock. Wait, this was Legends. There was Guitar Hero World Tour, which was Guitar Hero 4. Guitar Hero 5, they also had Guitar Hero Van Halen, Guitar Hero Aerosmith, Guitar Hero 80s, all these spin-offs, and it just got so oversaturated to the point where for a while they discontinued Guitar Hero, although they did recently bring it back. But it definitely was a product of its time, but it was definitely a lot of fun to play with your friends, too. And the next game was a game that I had been hyped for 2 years when it was first announced in around early 2006, at the end of my 6th grade year, and had to wait for 2 years, and dealing with delay after delay. Although in hindsight it wasn't that bad. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. My god. This was a game I was super hyped for. I followed information as it came along, from when it was first announced, any information I could get across. And then when they started the Smash Brothers website, the daily updates, and that started in May of 2007. Throughout 2007, I would check the website every morning to see. It was so exciting whenever a new character was confirmed and a new stage was confirmed. I still remember the excitement I felt when Sonic the Hedgehog was confirmed. I'm going to go into quite a bit on this game and go into a little rant for a bit. Of course, when the game finally came out in March of 2008, I loved it. Loved the Subspace Emissary, the story mode. I will say about the Subspace Emissary, I would have loved if they actually went to actual Nintendo locations and fought more of the Nintendo enemies, aside from, the original enemies and some of the enemies from the Mario series. But but like for what it was incredible. I mean, it's all your favorite Nintendo characters coming together to fight evil. I mean, what more could you want aside from the actual Nintendo enemies and Nintendo locations to fight through? When the game first came out, everybody was like, "Oh my God, Brawl is so amazing! Brawl is so awesome! Brawl, Brawl, Brawl!" And then people got tired of hearing about it. By the fall of 2008, everybody was just all of a sudden everybody it became cool. Everybody was going online saying, "Oh, Brawl is so overrated. Melee is so much better. The Subspace Emissary sucks. The online mode sucks," which they were right about the online mode. The online mode was a huge disappointment, but it did bring us Slagfest. Uh, for those of you who would remember, unfortunately, Mr. Game and Pichu uh, privated all the Lagfest videos. Um, So, unfortunately, you guys won't be able to see them if you're wondering what I'm talking about. But for those of you who have been with my channel since pretty much since the Smash speculation days for Smash 4, you guys would know what I'm talking about. But yeah, but like going back on topic, around the fall of 2008, everybody and their mother was just going like, "Oh, Brawl is so overrated. Melee is so much better." Just all this bullshit. It became cool to call Brawl overrated for a couple years. And once it becomes cool to call a game overrated, it's not overrated. I mean, once it became cool to call Brawl overrated, it's not overrated anymore. Too many people also call I also don't consider Final Fantasy VII to be overrated because too many people were calling that overrated. And there was a time during that period as well where it became cool to call Final Fantasy VII overrated. It was cool to call Halo overrated for a while. It was cool to call Madden overrated for a while. So Brawl is not overrated. Um, in fact, it's quite underrated. I think Melee is, as I've established before in my GameCube collection video, I think Melee is overrated. Is a little overrated, although it's still a great game, but it is a bit overrated and it was largely because of all this bullshit that was going on at the time, where everyone was going on YouTube talking about, "Oh, Brawl is so overrated, Melee is so much better," but that's enough of that. But Brawl really was one of the best, still in my opinion, one of the best games on the Wii, hands down. This next game, if you thought the Wii was hard to find, oh my gosh, Mario Kart Wii was hard to find when it first came out as well. I mean, I think the total lifetime sales was about 32 million copies of this game were sold. The best-selling Mario Kart game of all time. A lot of people tend to harp on it now, but people forget just how hard this game was to find throughout the summer of 2008. This came out in May, and I was not able to get my hands on a copy until August, right before school started. It was just so frustrating looking, because I had to look in like I would remember every weekend, my mom and I would go to pretty much every store in town, every retailer in town to see if they had any copies of Mario Kart Wii, and nope, you couldn't find it. You couldn't find it anywhere. It was just so frustrating. Finally managed to find a copy in August. Obviously, it came with the Wii wheel, which was pretty much just a clamshell for you would put the Wii remote in there. It was actually fun at the time. The controls haven't exactly aged well though, so if I ever go back, I just prefer to use the GameCube controller. Although I haven't played Mario Kart Wii in a long time, especially since Mario Kart 8 surpassed it pretty much in every single way. But at the time, it definitely was a lot of fun. It had the largest roster. Well, I will say this definitely had a better overall roster than Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart Wii, it had all the characters. I mean, they didn't go overboard on the baby characters. They didn't have baby Rosalina. They didn't have, the 7 Koopalings. This was before the Koopalings comeback in Mario Kart Wii, which in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which I will get to. But it had characters. You had Diddy Kong. It had Funky Kong. It had characters that you would expect to be in Mario Kart, but unfortunately, several of those never came back for Mario Kart 8. Well, until the Deluxe Edition, in the case of some characters, with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Edition that's coming out for Nintendo Switch pretty soon. But yeah, Mario Kart Wii, still a fun game. The Blob, I got this at some point in 2008. I actually did a Let's Play of this on my channel a few, almost 3 years back, which I've since unlisted. Well, actually, I'm not sure if I still have my Let's Play up. I mean, it might. I think I since deleted it or not. I could check to see. The Blob was a fun little gem. Very good Wii. This was a third-party Wii exclusive by THQ, which unfortunately has since gone under. But De Blob, a very fun Wii game that never got enough coverage, in my opinion. I mean, this was during a time where everyone was complaining about the shovelware that was on the Wii. There was just so much shovelware that came out on the Wii that people just glossed over a lot of the great little third-party gems that were coming out, like De Blob and other games such as Mad World and The Conduit. But De Blob was definitely a very fun game. Really liked, defeating, the authoritarian, forgot the name of the enemies, but this dull and gray world and bring the color back, hopping from building to building, coloring all the buildings, coloring all the scenery, and it was just such a fun game, and it's such a shame that not enough people played this. They did make a sequel. There was De Blob 2, which was a sequel to this, and that was actually a multi-platform. And unfortunately, it looks like we'll never get another De Blob since THQ is no longer in business. But very underrated gem. Speed Racer, the video game. This was based on the movie that came out in 2008. My brother got this from GameStop. I didn't play it a lot. He played it a lot more than me. But it was actually a lot of fun. It felt a lot like F-Zero in a way. People criticized the movie. I actually liked the movie for what it was. And this game was fun, although I never played it that much. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. The Wii this was actually a multi-platform, but the Wii version, I think, was the best version out of all of them. Not only for just some additional story elements, I really like how the opening mission, with Darth Vader going into Kashyyyk, killing Wookiees, was done a lot better on the Wii. Just the atmosphere was a lot better on the Wii version than on, the PS3 and 360 version. The motion controls, a little clunky, but they were still fun. There were also these little missions where you could go to the Jedi Temple from what I understand, those weren't in the PS3 and 360 versions. But yeah, I had first rented this around the time that it came out in 2008, but didn't actually buy it until a couple of years ago. Bought it off of Amazon, and it still had a lot of fun with it, although I never beat the game. But definitely a fun Star Wars game to play, and it's a shame that it's no longer canon. Really liked the Apprentice character. Not only was he in this game, he also was a guest character alongside Darth Vader and Yoda and Soul Calibur 4, so that's a fun fact for you guys. Animal Crossing City Folk. I got this for Christmas in 2008. A lot of people were disappointed by this game. Really, for a lot of people, this felt just like pretty much just a console version of Wild World, which in a lot of ways it did feel like that, although there was a lot more space, as you would expect, because this was on a console as opposed to a handheld. I actually thought this was an improvement over Wild World, just more space. But I get why a lot of people would prefer Wild World, because going from different towns was a lot easier on the DS. Because you could find another friend with a DS, and you wouldn't have to worry about friend codes to go to each other's towns. But City Folk, you had to rely on friend codes. Although you could, Oh, actually, I think I'm remembering you could use your DS as a suitcase to bring your character from City Folk from your console to another friend's console to go to their town, and but not a lot of people use that feature. Yeah, the friend codes were very annoying. Interestingly, this came with something called Wii Speak, which you would put over your sensor bar. But I never used the Wii Speak. Honestly, I don't think anyone ever used Wii Speak. That was supposed to be one of the big features of this game, but nobody ever used it. So it was kind of pointless. But I did get quite a bit of enjoyment out of this game. There was a time where I would play this every day. But New Leaf is definitely a huge improvement over this. Like City Folk added to Wild World a little bit, but like New Leaf blew this out of the water. Sonic and the Black Knight. I can't remember when I got this. I think this came out in February of 2009. I might have gotten it for my birthday. Might have gotten it a little later than that. This was kind of fun, although it definitely was a waggle fest, with the motion controls. One of the things that got me excited was that you had the option to play as other characters, because I like Sonic and all, but I do like playing as other characters. I do like playing as Knuckles. I do like playing as Shadow. Um, this was fun, but it was also a waggle fest, and I never beat the game. So, there's that. The next game, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Bought this from a play and trade in 2009 after beating Path of Radiance for the first time. And I will say, they really went all out with this. I don't think I've seen... Path of Radiance was really just the prelude to the main story, which was this game. They directly fight the goddess of that world in this game. Because this was much different. Instead of having, what you would follow one protagonist and you would just add people to your army over time. This was interesting in that you had part one, which focused on Micaiah and the Dawn Brigade and their mission to retake Dayan from the Benyan occupation army. And then part two was very short and it focused on Queen Alencia and her fending off against a rebellion against her kingdom. And then part three focused on Ike and the Grail mercenaries and the war between the Laguz Alliance and the Benyan Senate. And then part four, all three storylines are brought together and they go up against the goddess Ashera. This is a very fun game if you are an experienced Fire Emblem player, but I do not recommend this for first-time players. It is the difficulty in a lot of the chapters is overkill, especially since a lot of your characters don't get the chance to level up. Because they're just not available in enough chapters. But if you're an experienced Fire Emblem player, definitely give this one a chance, especially if you've played Path of Radiance. This is a good follow-up to the game, although I do think Path of Radiance is much better. But it was a very, very fun game. I have played through this game at least 4 times, and every time I've always ended up with a different final army, a different makeup of my final army. So it's just the different possibilities you can get from this game. All the different opportunities. Just a fun game in general. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. Got this for Christmas in 2009. Never got into this as much as I did with the first one, but I did have quite a bit of fun with it. Although I don't have as many memories. Again, this was during a time where I wasn't playing as many, where I was starting to turn away from playing as many video games. This was when I was getting more involved in where I was starting to get more involved with choir at my high school. I was getting involved with the musicals. And I just didn't have as much time to play video games. And this case, I was in my sophomore year in high school, so I played this quite a bit, like towards the end of my sophomore year, but I never got back into it. New Super Mario Brothers Wii. I did not get this on Christmas Day in 2009. I bought it right after Christmas with money that my grandparents gave me. Didn't really get that much into it, although whenever my friends would come over, we would play this. I would always play as Luigi. My one friend would always play as Mario. My brother would play as one of the Toads. Another one of my friends would also play as one of the Toads as well. Definitely had a lot of fun with this. The co-op is a lot of fun. As Screwtack put it, it turns into Super Mario assholes really quick because everybody's jumping on each other. Everybody's pretty much killing each other, going against each other, but still definitely a lot of fun, albeit a bit frustrating. I never beat the game, though. Still, I mean, this isn't really much fun like it with single player. A lot more fun if you have your friends over. Now, the next game, Wii Fit Plus. My family got this the summer of 2010. We were gonna try to become more active, and we barely got into it. Although I actually did pick this back up during the summer of 2014. I went on this real health kick. I actually lost about 15 pounds that summer to try to impress a girl, which didn't exactly work out. Actually did prove to be pretty effective in helping me lose weight. These next 3 games I got really during a time where I wasn't playing much video games. These first 2, Epic Mickey and Sonic Colors, I got for Christmas in 2010, and it was during my junior year of high school. I was getting more involved in the choir department. I was getting involved in the musical, and I just was not as focused on. I was a lot more focused on school work and school stuff and thinking about college. So I barely played either of these. So I don't really have much to talk about here. Although from what I played, they were pretty fun. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword I got for Christmas in 2011. I think that was the year it came out. Never really got into it, though. Again, it was during that time where I wasn't playing. It was really my junior and senior years of high school and my freshman year of college that I really wasn't playing a lot of video games, and I didn't really get back into video games until the summer after my freshman year. But Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, I tried getting through it twice, like right after I got it for Christmas. I actually had to go out and get the Wii Motion Plus in order to play this game, because this was a game that actually required Wii Motion Plus. I would get through that first section in Skyloft, and I would get to the ground level, but I would never go further than that. And I don't know why. I just never really got into it beyond that. I know a lot of people are there are a lot of detractors of this game for whatever reason. I'm not sure the reasons why. Because I'm not a huge Zelda fan. I played Twilight Princess quite a bit. The only one I've ever beaten is Minish Cap. I've played a bit of Ocarina of Time, but otherwise I haven't played much Zelda. So the next Wii game I got was Xenoblade Chronicles. I had asked for this for Christmas in 2012, but of course my dad was not able to find a copy since this only got a limited release here in the United States. Also asked for it for my birthday, he wasn't able to find a copy. So finally I ordered one off of Amazon, and it was actually a steal at the time for about $62. And actually I will say this is my absolute favorite game on the Wii. Got the game in around the fall of 2013, spent so many hours on this game, really loved the storyline, really liked the main character Shulk, really liked the conflict, and just the twist of things are not what they seem. Definitely had a twist ending. It really helped shape who I am today, and what I believe in, and the kind of stuff that I believe in. But by far the best game on the Wii. Really was a great final game for the Wii to go out on. Shaun White Snowboarding, my brother got this at some point. I've never played it, so that's the end of that. Donkey Kong Country Returns, I bought this in the summer of 2014. I had bought this along with a couple other games. I played the first I played a little bit of it, although I never got far. I only got like I think through the first the first level. Um, but from what I had played, it was definitely a lot of fun. Shamana Center New Blood got this in 24. Got this off of Amazon in 2015. Although I've never actually played it. Lego Star Wars 3. I bought this. I bought this copy at a Target. They had it on discount for $20. This was the summer of 2015, and I played. And I will say, this game was not built for the Wii. Um, I would recommend getting the 360 or PS3 version, because one of the aspects of this game is that there are missions where you have huge battles with all these soldiers and all these vehicles, and you're setting up these bases, and you have all these things that you have to do. But it causes a lot of there's so much stuff going on that it causes a lot of slowdown. So, this might still be an issue on the PS3 and 360, but the slowdown is definitely an issue on the Wii version. So I would recommend getting the PS3 or 360 version. It's still fun, although definitely not as good as Complete Saga. The most recent game I got, Punch Out Wii. I got this off of Amazon last year. Definitely a lot of fun. The motion controls are a lot of fun. Never beaten it, but I also have the original NES version. One of the rare things that I've actually played the NES version first, long before I played the Wii version. But this takes all your favorite characters from the NES version: King Hippo, Soda Popinski, Glass Joe, Piston Hondo. Adds a few new characters, as well as some other cameos like Donkey Kong, for example. The only one who obviously doesn't come back is Mike Tyson, who's replaced by I think Mr. Sandman is the final boss. But definitely a fun game. One of the games where the motion controls don't feel like a waggle fest. Couldn't recommend this game enough. Games that I used to have that I don't own anymore. The first one that comes to mind is Pokemon Battle Revolution. Pokemon Battle Revolution, very cool in concept. One of the big draws was that it was the first Wii game with Wi-Fi connection. It was fun, but it was a huge disappointment. All it really turned out to be was a 3D Pokemon battle simulator. Didn't live up to Stadium or Stadium 2. Definitely did not live up to Coliseum or XD. Just a huge disappointment. I just didn't have fun playing it anymore after a certain point, so I traded it in. I had SimCity Creator, which I got for my birthday one year, and I later traded that in because I just did not enjoy it. What else could you want? I mean, it was SimCity on the Wii, on the console, but it just wasn't a lot of fun to play. There were a lot of Wii games that I missed out on, especially during 2010 to 2011. Like, there were a lot of games that came out during that time that I just never got around to buying. Never really got into the Metroid games. Never got Mad World. Never got the Conduit games. But yeah, there were definitely a lot more great Wii games out there. A lot of people harp on the Wii. They say, the Wii was a huge disappointment looking back. It really didn't have a lot of standout games. But the thing is, it's just the Wii. The problem with the Wii was that there was just so much shovelware that was put on it that people started viewing the Wii as a kiddie system, as a casual system. It's not good enough for the hardcore gamers. That was another thing that was going on the internet at the time. The whole hardcore versus casual debate, which, was total bullshit looking back. Just play the games for the games and shut the fuck up. Don't worry about whether it's hardcore or casual. If a game's fun, it's fun. Don't worry about whether it's casual or hardcore, and I even got caught up in that for a while. But yeah, there definitely was a lot of shovelware on the Wii, because it was just so many developers were just trying to take advantage of the motion controls. They thought it was going to be the next big thing, but it kind of turned out to be a fad, although the Switch looks like it's going to bring a little bit of it back. But yeah, there were a lot of great games that just got overshadowed, especially like a lot that came out during 2010, 2011, 2012, like Kirby's Return to Dreamland came out during a time where not a lot of people were really paying attention to the Wii. Um, it's just unfortunate because the Wii had so many great games. Granted, with the exception of a few, the GameCube definitely had a superior first party lineup. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door was definitely a lot better. That was definitely better in a lot of people's eyes than Super Paper Mario. The Pokemon games that came out on the GameCube were better than the Pokemon games that came out on the Wii. Um, Collectively, the Metroid Prime 1 and 2 were better than Metroid Prime 3, Metroid Other M. A lot of people harp on Other M for storyline reasons, although I'm not sure if like it's really directed at the gameplay. I've never played Other M, but it's just unfortunate. The Wii is a great example of a console that can be considered both overrated and underrated. It's overrated in that the motion controls were overhyped at the time and it turned out to be kind of a fad. It's also underrated because nowadays everyone just says, "Oh, it's underpowered. It was just a PS2 with motion controls," which wasn't true. I mean, if you look at the yes, a lot of the multi-platform games on the Wii were pretty much just the PS2 versions, with the motion controls, which but like if you played a lot of the first party titles like Super Mario Galaxies 1 and 2, Zelda Skyward Sword, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Donkey Kong Country Returns, all took advantage of the Wii's graphical capabilities. A lot of people didn't realize that the Wii was actually slightly more powerful than the original Xbox in terms of graphical capabilities. It's just not a lot of games outside of the first-party titles took advantage of it. But overall, I thought it had a great lineup that just tends to get forgotten because of all the shovelware that came out for it. But I definitely enjoyed my experiences on the Wii. Especially now since I also use it as my GameCube, since my original GameCube broke, just doesn't work anymore. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this this ramble fest of a collection video. But anyways, this is Kate, Should I Master, signing off.